If I had to lose 40 pounds of body fat, I'd follow these three simple steps. And I know they work because I've watched dozens of my friends and my clients drop fat so fast, people thought they were on Ozempic. Today, I'll break down exactly what those three steps are so you can do the same. So, for the longest, I used to always think that fat was just fat, right? Like all fat sources are the same. But then I learned the type of fat you eat makes all the difference in how your body looks and feels. So if you want fat that actually supports weight loss and better digestion, step one is to limit your fat sources to these few clean sources of fat. Number one being avocado. Okay, avocado has natural water content in it. Okay, it's not so dense like cheese and meats, right? A lot of these proteins we're eating, yeah, they're sources of protein, but they have extra fat on them that we're not counting. Avocados have natural water content in them that allows them to smoothly move through our digestive tract and our colon and not sit there and turn into this undigested waste where this undigested waste stores into fat. So avocados are a great source of fat when it comes to losing weight, and preferably aguacates. Those are those bigger, lighter green avocados. They have more water content in them. So the more water content, the easier they move through your digestive tract and don't just clog up your colon and turn into fat cells. So limit your fat intake to avocados or aguacates. Second source would be coconut meat. Okay, coconut meat has this natural water content in them as well. And I also forgot to mention, both of these avocados and coconuts have natural activated digestive enzymes in them that help break down undigested waste within your body, in your colon, right? Because if we have this excess weight, we have undigested waste sitting that can't be broken down. So that natural water content and those natural living activated digestive enzymes in these sources of fats are going to help break down this undigested waste so it can be eliminated through your bowels. And the last source of fat I recommend you limit your fat sources to, we got avocado, coconut, and the last one would be raw nuts and seeds. Okay, you don't want those roasted or salted nuts and seeds because these are roasted in inflammatory oils, and oils are very, very fatty. They're just an excess concentrated amount of fat that's very hard for your body to break down. We are water-based beings, and we both know that oil and water do not mix. So oil is very hard for your body to break down. So you want to prioritize checking the labels, turn the package around of these nuts you're about to buy, and make sure it's just pecans or just almonds or just walnuts or just pistachios, okay? You don't want anything else in the ingredients but just those raw nuts. And then when you have these raw nuts, you want to soak them for at least 20 minutes to a couple hours, okay? And what this does is going to activate the digestive enzymes in these nuts that we just talked about. Because nuts and seeds have enzyme inhibitors in them that make it kind of hard for your body to break down. So when we soak them, they become softer. These enzymes are activated and they're much easier for your body to process and digest. So I would definitely limit your fat sources to just these raw nuts and seeds, avocados, and coconut meat, and preferably just the avocado and the coconut meat and the raw nuts and seeds every now and then. And ideally even seeds over the nuts, right? The nuts are a little bit more fatty, more harder to break down, but seeds like hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, these are great sources of fat. They're very easy to break down and they have these natural enzymes as well. Keep these fats under 20% of your daily calorie intake. Okay, maybe just a handful of some soaked nuts or some seeds, or one avocado, or a handful of coconut meat. And I'll say this to also say, if you're eating cheese and yogurt and a lot of meats, you really want to cut back on these because yes, these are sources of protein, but they also have extra fat in them. And when we're eating protein, it's very easy to overdo protein. Any extra protein your body doesn't need, it stores it as fat cells. So prioritize your density of the day, right? Instead of the meat, instead of the cheese and the eggs and all these protein sources that have natural fats in them that are hard for your body to break down, right? There's no water content in meat or cheese or yogurt, right? So instead of those dense sources for your main calories for the day to feel satiated and full, start looking at the avocado and the coconut meat and some nuts and seeds, just like under 20% of your daily calorie intake, as those grounding substances, those dense substances for your days. Because again, these have natural water content in them, and they have those activated digestive enzymes, both two key components for weight loss that these animal products, these protein sources with the extra fat in them, don't have, and they're harder for your body to break down. So that's step number one, is limit your fat sources to those 3 fat sources and keep them under 20% of your daily calorie intake. Step number 2 is to have these dense fatty sources in the middle of the day. You don't want to start your day with this fat, dense kind of substance because it's hard for your body to break down right away. You want to optimize having your biggest meal, your most dense, caloric dense meal in the middle of the day, because we are natural beings and our bodies work in synchronization with the sun and the moon. We have a circadian rhythm that we're all running off of, okay? And our digestion is the peak strongest in the middle of the day when the sun is at its highest, okay? So it's not going to be as strong in the morning, and it's not going to be as strong, at night right before bed. So you want to ideally have your biggest meal, those dense fatty sources, in the middle of the day when the sun is at its highest, and pair these fat sources with non-sweet fruits, okay? Or any big meal of the day, any kind of dense meal of the day, you want to pair it with non-sweet fruits, cucumber slices, bell pepper slices, carrots, lettuce, celery sticks, okay? Just eat it aside these avocados and coconut meat or some nuts and seeds. And this is gonna help your body break down this fat even more, because these non-sweet fruits have these living digestive activated enzymes as well, okay? So you can see now these enzymes are key for breaking down any undigested waste. It works with your stomach acid. Your stomach acid is the one thing that's responsible for breaking down all of your food, okay? And a lot of us have weak stomach acid from all of these hard to digest, just dense foods that we've been eating our whole lives. So when we have this weak stomach acid, our food isn't breaking down all the way, and it's kind of just turning into this undigested waste, storing as fat cells. So when we can pair our fats with even more enzyme-rich, water-rich foods, this is really going to help break down that undigested waste and help it be eliminated, as well as eat it in the middle of the day when our digestion is at its strongest, its most fire. And a huge tip to go along with this, anytime you're having fats, dense fat, or just fats in general, you want to be pairing them only with non-sweet fruits, okay? You don't want to be pairing them with sweet fruits, because that's going to cause fermentation in your gut and more undigested waste, okay? That sugar and fat create that fermentation in your gut. This is actually what causes diabetes, is that fat blocking that sugar from passing your blood and raising your blood sugar. So optimize having those fats in the middle of the day, pair it with non-sweet fruits, and don't mix the avocado with anything like carbs, like sweet potatoes that break down into sugar, okay? Because that's not going to be the best for your gut and digestion. So that's the second step, is to prioritize eating these dense foods in the middle of the day when your digestion is at its most strongest, and pair these fats with some cucumber slices or celery sticks to help support that digestion even more and help it break down even more. And when you do have your biggest meal of the day, those fatty sources in the middle of the day paired with the non-sweet fruits, it won't hurt and actually will benefit you a lot by going on a long walk after that biggest meal of the day. Maybe chill for 5 to 10 minutes, then go for a long walk. Even 20-30 minutes, a light walk, will really assist and support your stomach acid and these enzymes, breaking it all down, so that none of it is just sitting and turning into fat cells, stored fat cells. We got to start looking at these calories we're eating as sources of fuel, sources of energy, right? So after you have that meal, chill for a sec, then go utilize those fuel points you just put in your body, right? Those calories. Go for a walk, assist your body in breaking it down, and use some of that energy, right? Break down some of those calories. And the third and final step is just to prioritize all of your other calories of the day being simple carbohydrates, okay? And when I say simple carbohydrates, I mean sweet fruits and non-sweet fruits and leafy greens, okay? Complex carbs like rice and lentils and beans, things like this, they're complex for your body to break down, right? They're not as water rich, and they cause more residue in the body, making things like kind of stuck and gluey, right? These beans, the rice, very starchy, very hard for your body to break down. And these can turn into, even though they're sugars, they're carbs, they're breaking down into sugar, because they're so sticky and gluey and hard to digest, they can turn into that undigested waste. Undigested waste can turn into stored fat. So prioritize all of your other calories to be simple carbs. So you got the fats in the middle of the day, and then before that, you want to have some sweet fruit. Start your mornings with a big meal of juicy, watery fruit, grapes, plums, pears, melons, things like this. Even go get a smoothie. A juice from your local juice bar, get a green juice or a beet juice. This is going to tremendously impact the amount of fat you lose. Okay, when you start your morning with these big, hydrating, fibrous, juicy, watery meals, all of this is just breaking down. All of these are enzyme rich as well. You can see the key here, right? These enzymes are key. So starting your day with these juicy, fibrous, whole, water-rich fruits are really going to help break down any undigested waste from maybe yesterday's meal or last week's meal, right? A lot of this stuff that we're eating, these beans and meats and animal products and crackers and chips, all these get stuck, and even from years ago, right? These get clogged up. So these enzyme-rich, water-rich foods, starting our days with that is really going to have a huge impact, way greater impact on breaking this stuff down and eliminating it through our colon than just dead plain water that's kind of just bloating us. And you need to get rid of the fear of too much sugar from fruit to be able to do this. Okay, I've been eating a high fruit, 90% fruit diet for almost 6 years now. The other calories being some nuts and seeds and maybe some vegetables and maybe some grains every now and then on occasion. But fruit contains natural sugar, and we're natural beings, okay? And if you think about it, these complex carbs, the rice, the beans, all these things have to be broken down into sugar, right? They're carbs, our body has to use all of this digestive energy just to break it down into sugar. That's why when you have a bowl of beans or rice or any complex carbs, you're not going to have energy right away. It might come a little bit later, or you got to go work it off, right? Go walk it off to help your body break it down into that sugar. But when you eat these simple carbs, your body can immediately use it as energy. Your body can immediately use it as hydration. Your body can immediately use it to start helping it break down this fat that's sitting in us. So fruits are amazing. They've helped clear my skin, my body odor. They give me energy. I feel amazing on a high fruit diet, and it's allowed me to lose a lot of extra fat I was holding on to. So you've got your big juicy fruit, hydrating, water-rich meal in the morning, and then you've got your fats in the middle of the day, okay, when digestion is strongest, pairing them with those non-sweet fruits. And then wait 2 to 3 hours, because fats tend to take a lot more time to digest than just juicy fruit. And like I said, we don't want to be mixing any sweet fruits with those fats to cause that fermentation. So after you've had your fats, go on your walk. 2-3 hours later, then have some more sweet, juicy fruits. Okay, this might sound crazy to you. This is a huge mind shift. But once you start doing this, you'll see how fast you're eliminating, how much more energy you have, okay? And at first, you might go through a couple of detox symptoms, like maybe a little lightheaded and stuff. Just eat more fruit, okay? Because we're so used to these dense, hard to digest foods we've been eating our whole lives. These fruits aren't as dense, right? They're very hydrating, okay? And you're not even gonna feel the need to drink as much water when you're on these juicy fruits. So eat a surplus of these fruits too, right? Start looking, when you're in the store, start looking at your fruit as full meals, right? A pack of blackberries or blueberries, that's not really a full meal. You're gonna need 5 packs of blackberries at least to be kind of filled up, right? So look at like 1 honeydew or 2 honeydews as one meal, or a big bag of grapes is like a meal or two, or a big bag of cherries is a meal or two, or like 7 to 10 pears as one meal. And smoothies, I personally put 5 to 7 ripe bananas in one smoothie and the rest just frozen blueberries. And if you are going to have bananas, make sure that they are brown spotted on the outside like a cheetah. This means they are ripened and turn into sugar. When they're green and still yellow, they are starchy. And again, your body has to use digestive energy to break that starch down into sugar. So by just letting that banana ripen, your body can instantly move it past along your digestive tract, and it has those enzymes in it and can help break down that undigested waste that's keeping us feeling fat. So get comfortable with eating a surplus amount of fruit, okay, because they're not as caloric dense as meat and cheese and eggs. And if you're starting out, if you want to add a little bit of complex carbs as some more density, I recommend using steamed sweet potato or steamed squash, because these aren't as complex for your body to break down as, say, things like rice or beans. Just make sure that you're steaming them and not baking them or air frying them and having to use oil, because again, these oils are very concentrated amounts of fats that are hard for our body to break down. If you follow this 3-step protocol, you will lose so much weight so fast. The big juicy fruit in the morning, maybe you get hungry a little bit later before that fat meal, have some more fruit. Go get a smoothie, go get a juice. Then when you have that fatty meal, pair it with those non-sweet fruits. I also forgot to mention coconut. That was the source of fats we said, right? You can also buy coconut wraps, okay? And you can make a salad, leafy greens put in there, or you can spiralize some zucchini noodles or cucumber noodles and put them in there with some cut up tomatoes. And maybe you'd want to do a white cashew sauce, okay, and make a little salad wrap in there, right? And if you guys want some sauces with these raw nuts and seeds, with these enzymes in them that are going to support your weight loss journey and better digestion, you guys can check that down below using the link in the description. I posted a list of my favorite sauces I love to make at home, because salad dressings and sauces and dips all in the grocery store and restaurants all are made with these fatty oils, these toxic oils, especially canola oil, soybean oil. And that's why America at least is dealing with such an overweight problem, is because everything, if you look at your ingredients in your cupboard, in your fridge of products and sauces and dressings and chips and cookie, all of these contain oils in them. And we don't need these oils, okay? No human is oil deficient. They're terrible for us. We are water-based beings. We can't digest oils. They're just turning into extra fat. So I highly recommend you take your health into your own hands and start stocking up on some raw nuts or raw seeds, soaking them, and you can put these in a blender with some fresh herbs and your favorite seasonings and some lemon juice, and make some really good, creamy, filling, delicious sauces and dressings and dips that you can make amazing salads with and salad wraps. You can also use seaweed wraps, raw. It's called a raw nori or raw seaweed wraps. You can make a salad wrap in there, wrap it up, dip it in some sauce that you made. Delicious. Then go on your walk after that big fatty meal in the middle of the day, and go on your walk. A couple hours later, have some more fruit. Have a big smoothie. Have some grapes. Have some pears. Maybe you want a little steamed sweet potato. Perfectly fine. Highly recommend you pair those with those non-sweet fruits as well, because that steamed sweet potato has a little bit of water content in them, but it really needs some more water content and more digestive enzymes in these non-sweet fruits to help break that sweet potato down fully. By adding in all of this hydration from your food, this juiciness, this fiber from your food, this is going to just help you eliminate and break down all of this undigested waste and fat that is just sitting and clogging us. And remember to just lean on the steamed squash or steamed sweet potatoes if you're really feeling like you need some density, because first week of doing this, definitely you might feel some detox symptoms, because fruit is very purifying and cleansing and detoxifying, and just really going to be breaking up all of this stored inflammation and waste within the body. So that's about it. If you follow these 3 steps, like I said, you can lose as much weight as you want in a fast period of time. Highly recommend you guys check out the list of dressings and recipes that you can easily make at home with just a blender. And that's about it for today, you guys. Happy healing. Much love. This has been Practitioner Key. Cheers.